Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/reps and get on your way to being your best self.
Sometimes in life, we are faced with tough choices. Honestly, too often. I'm laughing because this is the story of my life, I swear. And the path forward isn't always clear. So whether you are dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps. It really does. And it helps you stay connected to what you really want while you are navigating life and all of the uncertainties. BetterHelp makes it easier for you to trust yourself as you make decisions that align with your values. And like anything, the more you practice, the easier it gets. My favorite thing about BetterHelp is that it is so convenient. I have a very busy life. I travel a lot. BetterHelp makes it so. It makes it easy. It makes it so I know that I can always find time in a very busy, hectic schedule to speak to someone who I know is helping me continue my journey of constantly becoming a better version of myself. BetterHelp is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So there is no problem with you maybe not jiving super well with your therapist. You want to try someone else. It is a quick and easy fix. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/reps today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/reps to get 10% off your first month today. How was your week?
Sorry.
I just smoked a pack of six.
Dude, I felt like that this morning. I woke up and like my chest was like that.
Allergies or something.
But it was like that dry in my chest. And I'm like, what? What's happening to me?
Sound like my 80-year-old grandmother.
I know. Don't look at my peel bag. Don't look at my nightstand. Got 80-year-old tendencies. So many.
No, my grandma that passed away years ago, she smoked. She always had a real raspy voice. She was cool. Maybe that's why I started smoking.
Maybe. You're like, man, you're cool.
Man, grandma's cool. She rides a motorcycle.
Probably.
If grandma does it, it's got to be okay.
But then it was like, but you drew the line at the motorcycle. You're like, nah, smoking, it'll kill me over time.
Yeah. But, I don't have balance.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, I don't have balance. That'll take me a lot quicker.
Yeah.
How are you ladies?
Tired, but I'm good. Yeah.
Mondays are just always like that. Gosh. And it doesn't even matter what I've done over the weekend.
I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm like your butthole.
My butthole.
I'm like your butthole.
I got a tired butthole. I will never hear the end of that one.
Because it was fantastic. And it's the thing is like the things that it's because it's true. Stuff is funny because it's true. That's why it's just so funny.
How did we even get on that subject? Were we talking about what our farts sounded like?
Yeah, maybe. It was a long time ago. And you said, I feel like when I fart.
I said I feel like if I,
My butthole's just saying, I'm tired. Because you've been farting for so many years.
Put a lot of mileage on this. Oh, that sounds bad. A lot of mileage on this butthole. Not like that. Okay, starting with that.
It's not like a young,
it's like a young tight one.
It's not like a beginner fart.
No.
It's not like a beginner butthole.
Yeah.
Like for many years, like those like real tight.
My question though.
And then it turns into
what does it turn into?
Like then it stages, right? Then it's like
yeah.
Then it's
And now it just sighs.
Now your farts are just a sigh.
They just sigh, yeah.
Oh man.
Man, your farts sound tired.
Are you tired? Yeah, actually I am. How did you know? I heard your fart. Thought I couldn't.
No, but seriously, like on a serious note, because they don't always sound the same. Why is that?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I don't know.
So weird. Like my butthole hasn't changed.
No.
So yeah, I'm trying to figure that out.
Maybe some days your butthole feels real young.
Like it's gotten a lot of rest.
Maybe like a morning
Well
farts.
rested and
Little morning farts. A little bit tighter. Then by the
by
I don't know.
nighttime it's just
Dude, for
By
me,
nighttime,
it'd be like by 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, mine would
I'm
be 3
tired.
p.m. 3 p.m. 3 p.m. farts sounding a lot different than a morning fart. Morning farts just excited for the day.
Maybe like the afternoon farts are kind of angry farts, like just angry
Just
farts.
yelling or screaming.
Gosh.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Between the Reps with Brooke, Jeanna, and Devon.
Yeah, sorry about
Drop
the
my own
fart
name there
combo.
for a second. Yes, this is what we talk about.
welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
It's like what?
Oh no, what? I just saw like the hand.
Hey, like
You got
what's
real
something-
excited
hey,
about something.
Hey, what's something we can talk about that like everyone could agree on? Yeah, my butthole's tired too. Yeah, my farts do sound different than they used to. This is a safe combo.
No, it's
Everyone-
a topic that brings everybody together.
yeah.
Brings everybody together.
Everybody
yes.
farts.
In
Everyone
this very
gets older
divided time, we can come together on
with
farts.
farts, and
farts.
that we're all aging.
Farts brought us together.
Yeah, Dwayne the fart catcher.
We should have written the book.
Dude, I don't know why we didn't.
I know.
Probably because we never finished it.
Probably. Just like everything else, you start something, don't finish.
Yeah, I mean, we had a
Talk about starting something, never start it.
Yep.
A lot of ideas.
maybe
Lots of
maybe
ideas.
maybe that what we need to do, Jean Marie, is like we can't fully develop the idea through conversation without just starting it. Because we spent too much time
talking about
building it, and then by the
it.
end
Well,
of
we
it,
got tired of it.
yeah. Then by the end of it, we were like, yeah, we'll come back to it at some point
I
when
know.
it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, we don't want to do it right now. We're in the middle of something.
Yeah, boy, where do I even start? I don't know how to write a book. How do I hire someone to create illustration? Who's going to draw it? I don't know, not me. I could do stick figures.
It'd just be the worst book ever.
Or it just progressively gets worse, like some movies. Like it starts out strong, like TV series,
Oh, yeah.
way strong. We're locked in, like the TV series Lost. Everyone can agree on the fact that Lost just got
I never
worse.
watched it.
Okay,
I never watched it.
it just got worse.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing.
Walking Dead. I think some
Same.
people probably would really be upset that I'm saying it gets worse, but it gets worse.
It gets worse. It just gets boring. You just get tired of the characters.
Yeah, I mean, for an entire
redundant,
season,
yeah.
what did we do in your living room, Gina? For an entire season, like he's still in the bed. Boy's still in the bed.
He was in the bed.
Boy's still in the bed.
It just kept going back to that storyline, and we're like, he's still in bed. What the hell?
Just get him out of bed.
Let's get him. Yeah, let's get this moving.
Out of bed. Out of bed.
Yeah.
Out of bed.
I'm trying to think of. What I really like is Yellow Jackets.
That was good.
That one's kept me going.
Yeah.
But I think like anything, it's gonna like fizz out at some point.
Yeah.
There's so many people that can die, or so many people you can bring back. Or
I mean, even Yellowstone. I loved Yellowstone, but the last couple seasons,
yeah. Because part of it's like
that's a stretch.
the newness of it too.
Well, and it's like, I mean,
We get bored real quick.
people, we lose attention, right? And and everyone wants to be excited and entertained and like wow and have wow factor. And, oh my gosh, holy shit, didn't see that coming. But then what happens is those same people, without them really realizing it, they also just like a good story that doesn't maybe have excitement all the time. And we forget that until the seasons are coming out in a show where you're like, well, now you're just making shit up. now you've gone too
now
far.
you lost us.
Now we're confused.
I'm trying to think of another show that, I mean, you know me, I'm such a TV watcher. I've been like watching this show on Mean Girls, but like real Mean Girls that like end up killing people.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
What's it called?
Mean Girls. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. It was like one of those things, you know how you'll watch a show and then it'll end and then it'll like recommend for you. Or it'll just like go into the next thing. And a lot of times, like when I'm cleaning the house or doing laundry or whatever, it just like keeps rolling into the next thing. So I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. But
I was thinking about you last night. I was trying to I wanted to watch a scary movie.
Oh.
And so I feel pretty good about when choosing a show or movie, you know, looking at the ratings or the review.
You got to look at the customer ratings, not the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But by that, I mean, like, I feel like on some platforms, I either need to just look at it, like Google it or DuckDuckGo it or whatever it is going to give me the best review on what it really is. But I'm looking through horror films, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking, and there's tons I haven't seen. And so I'm taking a peek at like the ratings or the stars or whatever they got. Hard to pick.
Well, I mean, if the horror genre has a lot of shit. Yeah.
100%. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, man, I need to take on Jeanna's confidence.
And choose a 17%er.
And just pick one and see what happens.
Stick it through.
You know?
So did you?
Nope, I didn't pick one.
Oh.
I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed by so many mediocre, like things that were perceived as mediocre based on the reviews they shown. And I was like, where do I go? Which one do I choose? What do I do?
It's been a while since I've seen like a really good horror movie. I think the last one that I saw that I was like, what? Well, I don't know which one came first because we were just talking about this yesterday. I was at Courtney's house and we were talking about horror movies because Courtney she doesn't watch horror and her boyfriend loves horror movies. So I'll just like get a text at night and be like, can I watch this one? Cause you know, I know like,
is this one
like
safe?
if it's going to be too scary for her. And so there've been some that I'm like, oh, absolutely. And then some I'm like, oh, don't watch that one. And it all depends on like, there's people that like horror for different, or don't like horror for different reasons, right? Like some people really don't like, you know, the like supernatural horror. And then other people don't like they wouldn't want to watch like Jigsaw that has like tons of like gore and, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, but one that I love is Midsummer.
Oh, and it's a thinker.
It's a thinker. It's got a little bit like it's got some jumpers.
All kinds of weird shit.
You know what I love about that is that it's one of the only movies I can think of that's mostly filmed in like daytime or like light.
Well, that's true.
Right. Mm-hmm. So like most scary movies are, you know, it's dark and and you'd think that it would make it less scary, but it doesn't. It makes it even creepier because it's like all in the daylight. And then the other one was Hereditary.
Oh yeah, that one's messed up.
That one was weird. I had to watch that like 3 times. I still don't know what it's about, but I'm still trying to figure it out. It's like cultish.
Yeah.
Like you think it's about like the little girl and then it's very weird. But
I just watched not that long ago. I rewatched Annihilation.
Oh, Annihilation. That's a weird one.
That is a weird one.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen any of these. I'm writing it down.
Annihilation.
Jeanna could give you a, you know, like Gina's list.
Well, yeah, except the problem is that I always forget what the names are. So, and then all of a sudden I'll see something like when Brooke and I would be watching TV and she's like, have you seen it? I'm like, oh no, I have seen it. I don't know it by the name, but yes, I've seen it.
Or we're watching it and you're like,
yeah, and I lie.
I've seen it. I'm like, oh my God, I wanted to watch this movie, Gina. It's whatever. And I'm like, turn it on, this like the trailer. And she's like,
I've seen
it. Either A, it's like, I've already seen it. Or it's her trying to lie. And it's like,
or I just like avoid it.
Yeah,
like I don't say anything. Yeah, and then you'll be like, wait, have you seen this?
It's pretty good. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it again.
Maybe, but I don't remember. We're watching it and she's just like on her phone. She goes, yeah, I've seen it. Like, you bitch.
Like, you have too much time on your hands.
Like what I love about, you know, I like watching shows I'm watching movies, etc. But what I really love about watching like certain types, if not all things I watch, it's like enjoying it with somebody.
Totally.
If it's funny, how much better is it if like you look to your buddy and you're like
Right.
cackling,
Yeah.
losing
Like
it.
Bridesmaids.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Or if it's like scary and you're just like, you got to grip someone's hand.
Right.
Friend, we're both scared. We're scared together. It's better.
You both get
Also-
the crap scared out of yourselves at the same time.
And also, you also have someone there where if it's a little bit scary, your buddy's there to be like, it's just made up. It's not real.
It's not a real thing.
Yeah, you're good.
Let's pretend. We'll
And
be
then later you're like, I need to go to the bathroom. Can you come with me? Yeah.
If it were me and you, it'd be like Gina would be like, hey, it's not real. And then she'd think, I hope it's not real.
As I'm like looking under the bed.
You're like, at least that's what I tell myself.
Maybe I should go with you so I'm not scared.
Yeah.
No, Daniel, our friend, has been on this huge kick of going to 4DX, which I just saw a thing on Barstool
Have you guys going?
talking about like IMAX.
Okay.
You see, like, I don't know, it's like a Instagram handle, and they were talking about how IMAX, there's only like 17 IMAX theaters, but there are other IMAXs claiming to be IMAXs.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I just thought it was funny because he was like talking about how he wanted his money back and then he was showing like on the map of like all the real IMAXs. And so one of them is the IMAX that we've gone to in San Francisco, but they have another one. It's called 4DX. And let me tell you, it is a wild ride. Like the fact that they don't have seatbelts on these things is bizarre to me, or that you have to sign a waiver. So you're in seats.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 of them that are like connected, and it'll have, like you can turn your water off, but it like the whole seats move with the movie. So like if it's a car chase, you're going like, and I mean, it
really?
wrenches you all over the place.
Okay. Cause I remember when the seats came out. Remember when we went in Santa Cruz, the seats came out.
Those were lame.
It's like the speaker, and then they had like, you'd feel
it
like
would move a little
or whatever.
bit.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's not like this actually, like you laugh so hard because you see the whole theater, like down below you, like people just getting rocked and like drinks getting sprayed. And no, it is hilarious. So we just went and saw Mission Impossible.
Was Daniel just laughing, just cackling?
Yes.
Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/reps and get on your way to being your best self.
Sometimes in life, we are faced with tough choices. Honestly, too often. I'm laughing because this is the story of my life, I swear. And the path forward isn't always clear. So whether you are dealing with decisions around career, relationships, or anything else, therapy helps. It really does. And it helps you stay connected to what you really want while you are navigating life and all of the uncertainties. BetterHelp makes it easier for you to trust yourself as you make decisions that align with your values. And like anything, the more you practice, the easier it gets. My favorite thing about BetterHelp is that it is so convenient. I have a very busy life. I travel a lot. Sometimes things are very unknown. I kind of move with life as it changes, as things are thrown my way. And it can be very tough to have a schedule with that way of life. BetterHelp makes it so. It makes it easy. It makes it so I know that I can always find time in a very busy, hectic schedule to speak to someone who I know is helping me continue my journey of constantly becoming a better version of myself. BetterHelp is entirely online, is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So all you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. So there is no problem with you maybe not jiving super well with your therapist, you want to try someone else. It is a quick and easy fix. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/reps today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/reps to get 10% off your first month today.
And there was this, I felt so bad because like Kylie, my daughter, she's gone to it before. So we both knew what to expect. And we're sitting there and Kylie's to my right, Daniel's to my left, a couple seats down. There's this little old couple that like, it looks like maybe their granddaughter brought them. And Kylie and I were both like, I mean, like this old man can like barely get up the stairs, like up the theater. He's got his cane. And we're like, oh my God, I don't think these people should be in this movie. And so Kylie,
or at least need a seatbelt,
looking down. And like, at one point he's like putting his cane on the ground, like holding himself. So Kylie is just dying. She's like, oh my God, oh my God. And so she's laughing so hard. And she's laughing so hard that she hates it when people make noise in movies. Like she can hear somebody eating popcorn like across the way and she'll be like, do you hear that? I'm like, no, I don't, like she can zone in on it. So she's like sitting there and she's trying not to laugh because there's another guy like down from her that is dying laughing at her. Yeah. Because she's just like, I mean, like so loud. And so she's trying to like cover her mouth and she's got her shirt pulled up. And she's trying so hard, but it's rocking her so hard that at one point she just goes like, she's like, like, she's like holding in this laugh, but it just sounded like this gnarly groan and it was so loud. And so of course it's making us laugh harder. And Kylie's got big old boobs.
Yep.
And at one point I look over and there's like this really intense like train scene. So like you're just getting, thrown around. And I look over and because at one point it'll be like, duh, 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 and her boobs are, they're just like, boom,
she
boom,
left
boom,
with two
boom,
black
boom,
eyes.
Boom. Yeah. They're like boom, boom, boom. And then like to the right and then to the left. I was like, Kylie, I cannot look at you. Your boobs are all over the place. She's like, I know.
Yeah, she's like, those things down.
Yeah, no, she goes, I know a man invented this.
Gonna wear a sports bra to the movie. You're like,
I don't know, like an ace bandage or something. It's like, yeah, it's a little intense, but super fun. But I mean, like my back's like hurt after.
Oh yeah.
So, but if you have an opportunity to go to one, it's really fun.
40.
I don't know where else they have them. 40X.
That sounds really fun.
It is really fun. Let me see if they have them. 4DX.
I went and saw the Barbie movie.
Oh, how was it?
It was actually really good.
I've heard that.
I was prepared to light myself on fire to not go. And
Did you dress up? Did you dress up?
Me? No.
You didn't wear your Barbie outfit? I saw a bunch of hot girls on Instagram. All of them, they're like,
I can't.
Like mermaid Barbie and this Barbie and that Barbie. And I was like, yeah, I guess if I had that body, I guess I'm just being a hater. I probably would wear it too. Who knows?
I mean, I wouldn't wear it to a movie. That's the thing. It's like if you're going to like a themed party, that's different.
Well, okay, but I will say this. We went and saw Top Gun. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I've dressed up to go to a movie before.
Well, I know you have because Daniel buys things for you to wear to the movie.
Well, he buys things to shame me. That's what he loves to do. But no, this was for a friend's birthday and she wanted to go see Top Gun. And so we all wore like flight suits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's like the same thing. Just more skin was covered. But okay, so let's see. Where are there?
I mean, there's all kinds of Barbies. You don't have to dress up. I mean, I could go right now. I'm wearing a ZZ Top t-shirt and I could go as a rocker Barbie. Look at me. I'm a Barbie.
I'm a Barbie.
I'm a Barbie.
It was really cute though. It was actually really well done. And cute. I liked it. I know there's been a lot of mixed reviews, but
I don't even look
really
at
liked it.
I just plan on, I don't know when it's free on TV to rent or it's like $2.99. I'm like, yeah, I'll rent it from home.
Well, we have our movie club, so we're always going. But it's funny because my sister Michaela asked us like 2 weeks ago. She's like, okay, so I have to be helping with my son's play. So can everybody wait to see these two movies? And the Barbie movie was one of them. And so we were like, okay. So we plan on that. And then she just lets all of us know, well, you guys can go now because I'm taking Echo tomorrow, her son.
You're like, wait a minute.
Wait, this is like a collective thing. Like, this isn't just about you. It looks like they only have them in the city or maybe some down south.
The 40X?
In California. Yeah.
Is it like a dome? Like, is the building different too?
No, it's like you just go, it's like one of these like huge movie theaters and it just has one theater that's 40X. And then like, because you wouldn't do like, we were laughing. We were like, I mean, you wouldn't go see the like, Oppenheimer in 40X.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd just be sitting there the whole time and then it'd just go like boom at the end.
Oh,
you know what I mean? like there's,
you pay the money to go to see it in 40X. You're like, well,
yeah, I pay, it's like $25, you know? So, but no, it's, I went, the first movie I saw, I might've talked about it already, was, the Spider-Man multiverse one.
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
It has, cause like, it'll have like smoke, it'll have wind. It has,
so it's like
water.
it's like you're soaring over California ride.
Yes.
But like more intense.
Yes, it is. It is like that. Yes.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
and then it has air that shoots out of the back. And I didn't know that part. And it was Spider-Man. So every time he'd shoot a web, it'd go,
yeah,
like, and it's loud, like in your
like
ears.
like a dart.
So yeah, so it just would be like, like coming out like behind my head. And I'm not joking. Like I went out of the theater and my hair was just like in a rat's nest. I looked like I'd been on a bender. I was like, whoa, that was an experience.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, and I decided to like microdose some mushrooms right before. So that made it a little more intense.
You're like, I didn't really realize how many times Spider-Man shoots webs until I saw it in 40X because I counted.
It's literally the exact, yeah. It's like the entire movie. But yeah, it was fun. I took a little bit too. I usually like if I microdose, I'll take like the gummies or something that I know, but somebody had like actual mushrooms and that's harder to like know how much you've taken. So I was kind of like, oh no. Cause I remember being in there and it was 40X and 3D. And I thought that the previews, all of the previews that were coming up, I thought, or the trailers, I thought they were in 3D.
Oh,
no, I thought they were in 3D until someone was like, no, they're not.
Like, oh,
you're like, whoa,
oh, I think the mushrooms kicked in. What?
Whoa. So those guys keep trying to get you guys too?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I haven't been. Oh, actually, I went and saw Sound of Freedom. That's the only movie I've been to a movie in a movie theater.
What was
in a long time. Sound of Freedom. I haven't been
which
to
one
a
is
movie
that?
theater. That's the OUR Tim Ballard movie documentary about OUR, Operation Underground Railroad. That's
I don't know
company.
if I've seen.
It's about a true story about how he basically stopped working for I don't know which government department. It's in the movie, but it's not. I don't know if it's the CIA, but he was basically working border patrol, doing a lot of different things, and he worked with the government on like sex trafficking and human trafficking and things like that. And then because of an instance at the beginning of the movie, you see it of something that he experiences and something that happens, and his wife told him to go and find this little girl that this little boy said, will you find my sister? It turns into this whole thing. And what's cool too is if you guys follow OUR on Instagram, which I've been following them since I competed, since I was still with Noble, and I donated all my, remember the painting that I did, that Noble did the thing, the painting. And that's the organization that I picked for my charity to donate my funds to. But they've done like, through the time that it's been out and about, the movie, out and about, they've done like some posts that are saying like questions like, did Tim really experience XYZ? And then they tell the exact description and if there were any slight changes just for like movie purposes. And they've been doing that on all the stuff. So it's just been really cool and really interesting. And
wait, I thought you said it had to do with the railroad.
No. The company is called OUR. It's Operation Underground Railroad.
This whole time I was waiting for like the trains to come in. Like, what does this have to do? I get it, like an underground railroad.
So it's basically
got it.
Their organization among many other ones that have come up over the years. And I mean, I don't know specifics, but they're all hunting down, trying to find kids, women and children, and people that are being sex trafficked and human trafficked and things like that. And I don't care what
heavier than Mission Impossible.
Oh, it's heavy but important.
Yeah.
What I think is funny is, the people in the mainstream media that are just trying to say that it's, conservative, I can't quote it or I'll just really fuck it up. So in a nutshell, saying, people embellishing, OUR, it's the movie, it's embellishing trafficking, that it's not nearly like that. Almost like calling it fake news. And it's like, we all know it's real.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, it's just, so it sucks. But something like that, it's, a lot amongst the same thing where it's like, all we really can do as people is to vote with your dollars type of a thing. And I definitely 100% stand behind what Tim Ballard, which he actually just stepped away from OUR because all of this, there's a lot of shit that's being brought up. They finished the film 5 years ago or something like that, but they could not, there was every like roadblock that could be put in their way was when trying to get the movie, release it. So just a lot of stuff like that. And, when people try so hard to keep you quiet, then there's something about what that person,
gotta wonder why,
what that person's trying to say, just kind of like, I don't know how y'all feel about Bobby Kennedy, but I'm really loving following his candidacy for president. And I like listening to him and coming from a different perspective of,
dude, I can't listen to him with that voice.
I know. Well, the first time, so I listened to Jeanna. I know I was listening. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast. And so I was driving home where was I driving? To Vegas. I was driving for a flight. And sometimes I'll turn on a podcast only if it's a good one that I'd want to listen to, because I don't really listen to podcasts. And when I first was listening, I thought to myself, like, me. So real hard. And I was like, okay. I remember I was giving myself a pep talk through it. Like, Brooke, just listen and stop getting so focused on the sound of his voice and stop wondering why he sounds that way. Okay. It's not a big deal. And it's not important.
Is it his larynx? Is it? No, I know. What is it?
It's not important. It's not important to the story.
Yeah.
So once you can get past that, which for me, is very hard for me to get past shit like that. It's hard for me to get past tapping. It's hard for me to get past pill popping. No. Pen clicking.
Pen clicking. Pill popping.
As I'm doing this, pen clicking. I definitely am someone who I get annoyed by little things pretty easily, and I constantly I'm working on it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely Kylie.
Yeah, it's an anxiety. It's a little ADD and some, So I work through it all the time, and she knows this. Like, I don't, just for like a little fun story, I'll tell everyone listening. I remember when I was little, I was riding in the truck with my dad. This is not something that does an adult. This is like my whole life. And my dad would drive with his hand, on the top of the steering wheel, relaxing, one hand. But what he would do is he would just flick the dash with his fingers. Like, he'd have his hand.
I hate that sound.
Yeah, resting on the steering wheel, and then he would just go, and he'd flick the dash. And I would literally. I was not old. I was, I don't know, like 10. I would just look at him. And I'd tell him to stop. I'd try to hold it together as long as I could, because I understood the fact that there's no reason for me. Like, my dad needs to stop doing what he's doing because it's bugging me. Right. But I would hold on as long as I could. And then I finally be like, can you stop? And then my dad would just do it. And he'd look at me while he did it in the truck. And he would say, this is my truck.
I was going to say, this is my truck. My rules.
And I think almost every time I'm in a situation or an experience where something like stupid and small is bothering me like that, I remember the moment with my dad. And I think to myself, like, calm down. You're being that version of you again.
Yeah, but there's just some sounds that can really like get me. Like, so like for me, it was always like some people can't handle if my sister would freak out if people like drug their teeth on their fork.
Yeah.
Like that sound, but it was like physically like hard for her.
That's like me with like chalk on a chalkboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean,
chalk or fingernails?
Both.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't, like, was his dashboard like the same material that like the sometimes the roof of the cars is?
You with like the fabric kind of?
Yes.
No, his wasn't, but
Because
it was an older truck.
People scraping that. Oh, my
dude.
sister knew it. She'd just be all.
And you're like, do it
And I just
again.
get over
And I'm
there
gonna
like,
backhand
yeah. Pincher.
you. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm so weird. Like my grandma, who is passed away years ago, my mom's mom. And my mom does this. That's what's funny. It's funny to see like what you do that like your parents did. Like we've talked about it, Jeanna, like when the day when you started realizing that every time we would drive somewhere, you found yourself reading signs out loud. Right?
I have to tell myself not to.
Yes.
I tell myself not to because I'm like, oh my God, that's such an old lady thing to do.
Yeah.
So
and it's one of those things. Like my grandma had these, she wore her nails, she had acrylic nails, and they were always oval, right? Long and oval. And I remember we could be watching TV. If we were, what we were typically watching was oh my gosh, Chuck Norris, for sure. Or Days of Our Lives. And these are the days of our lives. Dude, if I was at my grandma's house, it was the jazz. We were watching the Utah Jazz. We were watching Days of Our Lives. We were watching MacGyver.
Oh, I remember MacGyver. Yeah.
Or Chuck Norris. And my grandma would have her hand like sitting up, like kind of leaning on her hand, like sitting on the couch. And then she would do this circle. She would do this circle motion, like scrape, like drawing her fit, using her nails on
like the corner of the couch. I can't hear it.
Oh man, sorry. Just on the couch. And the couch material was almost like it wasn't corduroy, but it's like a stitched material that kind of has some difference, texture to it.
Yeah.
And it would drive me mad. And that's how stupid it is. Like I know it's dumb. Like that's the thing. It's like I know it. I feel like I know that it shouldn't, but I could hear it. And it's like even if I couldn't hear it, I could see it, and that caused me to hear it. I'm not kidding. I could hear it through the visual. And my mom does the same thing when she drives and has her hand like on the shifter in her car. She'll like trace. It says she's driving. She'll trace the little shifter, and I'd literally be in the car like this.
Stop doing that.
Staring at it.
Stop doing that.
And I do dumb shit too that people would be annoyed by. You know, like when I'm driving in the car and I have some, you know, I can't sit still, I fidget, I get anxious, and I also have a little ADD. And so I will drum or tap my fingers to the beat of the music, like on my cup. I don't really do it all the time when I have people in the car. Like I do respect that could be really annoying. But when I get into it, I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And I'm just drumming. I'm drumming with my nails.
I have to do that too. I'm always tapping, or like the what is that, center console?
Yeah.
And I do that. Like I'm some like great jazz musician or something.
Yeah, because you
just wait for
jazz.
A solo, man. Yeah. It's such,
Gina's like,
it's such a trumpet I can handle. The trombone. I don't know. That last sound was pretty good.
That's also fart.
Yeah, we're back to farts.
All right, just to bring it full circle, guys. Jeanna loves big band.
Oh.
She loves a big band.
And you think with as much as I love New Orleans, I would like that sort of atmosphere.
And she just loves the sax.
Just loves the sax.
Dude, Jeanna hates.
I made it so well known that I don't like the sax. I'll just get like random things from people all the time.
Someone playing a sax.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that video I have of you, me and you? I don't remember where we were going. We were on a flight, and you were playing the nose, but we were talking about We were talking about how much you just love a good saxophone, like solo.
Instead, I just played my nose.
Yeah.
That was impressive. I've never seen you do that before.
Well,
Oh.
I'm full of all sorts of talents.
Dude, I've got an
Most
up
people
close
don't know
video.
about.
I've got an up close video of Gina on an airplane. She's going.
That's not annoying to the people around me.
But again,
God.
when you're with a mate, your buddy who like isn't annoyed by it, in fact, it finds very entertaining.
I think that encourages me.
It does.
Yeah. It's not even me that's the problem. It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally you.
Sorry, I've made her too comfortable. I'm laughing at all of her jokes. Because I find her hilarious.
Oh my God. My mom came over to see the baby the other day while I was watching her. And I love my mom, but like, I can only spend so much time. And it was so nice. Like she came over, like brought lunch, we hung out. But I'm telling you, my mother because she wanted to get Chinese food. I didn't even ask for Chinese food. I brought my lunch, but she really wanted to bring Chinese food. And it was very sweet of her. She wanted to know what I wanted. And well, then she gave me a very long, detailed reason why she couldn't get the Chinese food. Okay. So she's telling me on the phone and I'm telling her like the baby's sleeping on me. And so she goes, oh, okay. So then she's talking just quietly on the phone, trying to tell me. And I'm like, no, that's like the cue to like get off the phone. So she tells me this whole story. And I mean, it's down to like, well, and my mom does this thing. And for those of you who aren't watching this, she puts her hand on her, like, it's bad when she puts her hand on her chin and she does like taps her finger over her lips because she's trying to remember the exact day or the exact time as if it's relevant at all
as if
to
it
the
matters.
story. It doesn't matter. But I do the same shit and I catch myself doing it all the fucking time. And I was just talking to Michaela the other day.
You're like, I'm annoying myself.
I'm so annoying. I don't need to give so many details. And why does it matter if I shit my pants on a Tuesday or a Thursday? Like, why do I have to stop the story and think about it and be like, wait, no, was it Wednesday or Sunday morning? And, and it's like, you've got this captive audience that's like, it's like the wrap it up button, So yeah, she did that and she gave me the whole story. And then after, when she was leaving, she starts in on the story again. And it was another like 20 minutes long. And I kept going, yeah, you said that.
And you're like,
you said that. Oh yeah, you said that. Oh.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tell me again. I'll do that. I'll add that to like make someone like my mom or anyone like maybe not feel self-conscious. They've already told me the story.
Right.
So I'll be like, yeah, no, you did already tell me, but it was good. So just tell me again.
Yeah, just tell me again.
Yeah.
Or what I try to do too, because I don't want to be someone who, retells.
That's what I do.
So what I will do, it's what my mother does, it's what everyone does, is I'll try and get myself to like pause my own story to give the person an opportunity to like have an out.
To get out.
Yeah.
To get out.
Like I'll be like going into it. I do it with Todd all the time and I'll stop and go, wait, did I already tell you this? And if they're like, yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, never mind.
Or they're like, no. And I'm like, well, okay, then let's get into it. I
just did it with Courtney's boyfriend yesterday. And I'm like telling him something. And then I can kind of see him like zoning out. And I was like, wait, did I already tell you this? And he goes, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Moving on. Well, not make you sit through it again.
You're like, I'm already halfway through. So can you just like put on a happy face and let me finish?
Can you just appease me?
Yeah.
And sit there and act interested?
Yeah. You dick.
Oh my God.
You're being real rude.
You're going to sit here and listen to it again.
You know what else I can't? So like we've talked about like group texts before.
Yeah.
And I try to always like, because, we have group texts a lot. And so I always try to be that person that like gives a thumbs up or, replies separately. So I'm not like adding, but there's always like some people that want to send like what do you call it? It was a Giphy or Jiffy or whatever those are.
Yeah,
like
that peanut butter.
One after another, or they respond. And these are like friends of mine that I love, but like,
and you're like, wow, you guys are so annoying.
sometimes I'm like, oh, that's so much. Or then you end up with like, there's 10 people in it, but there's only 2 people going back and forth. Well, I did it the other day. Thought it'd be really funny to say something. And then it just ignited this whole conversation. And then I realized that I was the culprit. So I took myself out of the group.
So you dropped a bomb and you were like, bye. Sorry, I started something I myself wasn't prepared for. So I'm out.
I did. So I left the group and then someone added me back in and just said, stop being weird. And then of course, in my mind, I'm like wanting to explain myself and I'm telling myself, nope, Jeanna, don't do one more text in this group. Don't do it. Hate that.
I have like a concern about myself, like to be an annoying person or whatever. Because depending on, well, and you guys already know this about me. You guys, I don't like small talk. I really don't. Like, it depends on what we're small talking about.
Sure.
But I don't love small talk, especially with people that I haven't seen or talked to in a long time, because it's exhausting.
Right.
So that happens. And so then what happens is that you tend to text me and I may forget to respond because I open the text, and depending on what's going on in my day or in that moment, it might be like, man, that's a loaded question. That's too much. I can't respond to this. And then what's going to happen, I'm an overthinker too. So I think about the fact that if I do respond, well, I'm opening the door. There's not really a good time. There's never going to be a good time to like say, hey guy, gotta go, bye.
Right.
It's in a text conversation. It's almost can always be ongoing with taking breaks in between, if like while you're sleeping, you can always pick up where you left off. And that overwhelms me sometimes about certain types of combos. Like, hey, how are you? How you been?
Like, what is this going to end?
And you're like, whoa.
Can I just heart the comment and not get back? I'm going to heart that comment to signal to you that the conversation is over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then what happens for me, and then I just have like this internal dialogue of like, did I mess up? Is this when when it feels like it's too much for me to respond? Because I start thinking about like, well, there's so many nuances to
because then you have to ask them.
Yeah, you do have to.
You're rude.
You gotta be considerate.
That's a whole other conversation.
Now I have to pretend to care what you've been up to. It's not that I don't care.
No, I was going to say, and just so people listening, it's not that you don't care. It's just that, like, do you care?
I can only handle
that I went to the grocery store today, and like pertinent things. Yes,
right.
But like you and I don't text a lot. I mean, just the other night, I'll send like a voice note.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and to be honest, we haven't talked a lot.
No.
Because we're busy, but I do.
But we're both the same, and to where we're like, oh, like I want to catch up, but then it's like late, and you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Like I'll just share the picture, the thing I sent you on Instagram. I sent this to Jeanna, and it says, "If you ever need me, I'm always just 5 missed calls and six text messages away."
Yeah, but like when there's like something really important going on, like I voice noted the other night about me feeling badly that I just didn't think Brad Pitt's wife was hot enough for him.
Yes, and I go, dude.
And it was in a movie. It was the woman playing it. And I was like, I just feel like such a bad person because it's like, like he's got like bags under his eyes and everything. He's like, she's just so fucking handsome. And of course, in my head, like I'm thinking, I think I said to you, I go, I'd like to think of myself as like a feminist or,
women.
Support women. I go, and why is it the first thing I think of when I see this movie is, oh, she's not hot enough for him.
And I had to remind Jeanna, dude, stop. You're just around. I think it's when you're around too much of like where you have to constantly feel bad about who you are. No, it is okay to see something and then have an opinion on it. Now,
and that be your initial thought?
There's a difference, right? Because like I could see something ugly and I could have an opinion that I share with my best friend, like, damn, nah, not for me. Right? Now, if I felt the need to be like, you're
Yeah, right.
That's different. That's completely different.
I know.
You know,
I just
it's
was really disappointed in myself.
she felt so bad, and I was like, Jeanna, fuck the fuck up.
Fuck up. She's a beautiful woman. Why is this the first thought? Like, I'm just watching World War Z. Like, she's a beautiful woman, but I'm just so in love with Brad Pitt that I was just like, oh my God. And I'm nowhere near like Brad Pitt status. Like, I get that. Like, I know my limitations, but it's like, so it's not like a me versus her. I just was like, God, he's just so damn handsome.
And what is she?
What a loser.
Okay, well, if we want to talk about something that I feel like everyone would probably feel pretty, even the people that would want to come out and say, that's really mean of you to say that, even them behind closed doors, behind their platform of feminism or whatever, they'd be like, yeah, man, I mean, I probably would have done the same thing. What I'm about to bring up right now is the movie Maverick. All right. What's her name? The chick? Tom Cruise is that they could not have play her.
Kelly McGillis.
Yes. Okay. Can we agree?
Right.
I think we all can collectively agree. That's not saying like, I'm going to take shots at this person and be like, you're ugly and you don't look good.
You've aged. Right.
No, it's just like, well, the reality is they wanted to do a movie with the same characters of like years later. We all age differently. If you don't still look sort of resemble the same character, then
people wouldn't believe that those two people are together, because unfortunately we are a society that's based off of like making those judgments on looks. Yeah.
And so, it's like,
I mean, like every single person watching that, if those two were in it, would be like, yeah, right.
It's hard to believe. I mean, because love lasts. Because it doesn't matter what you look like. You just love people for what's on the inside. It's like, well, okay, back up. Okay,
yes, of course, there's a degree to that. There's a degree. It's all degrees, right?
That's what I mean. You don't need to feel bad.
People are going to be like, they're just being mean girls. No, it's just a reality, and it's an unfortunate one. Like, and that's what I was saying too. I go,
we've talked about
fair? It's not about what's fair, but it's just what is, People it's like, why do men supposedly get better looking with age? And not all men do.
No.
And there's some really,
have you seen Jeanna
like women who have no.
Funny as hell though. Why do we Danny DeVito? Why do we say
I wouldn't really consider Danny DeVito attractive in the first place. It's for me.
Yeah.
For me.
No. But like someone could be like here the fact that we don't find him attractive and be like, that's rude. And it's like, man, I'm sick of living in a society where like you can't say anything. You just gotta like
other people think it, they just don't want to say it out loud.
Exactly. So the matter is this. Calm down. We all need to calm down.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah. And you know what? Danny DeVito, I actually quoted this the other day, and Todd did not know what I was talking about, but you do. In Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, I didn't watch that enough.
Oh
I don't know if I will.
But there's one episode. Well, I don't watch it anymore either, but there's one episode that is so funny. They're in the bar. And Danny DeVito walks into the bar, and all the guys, like his kids, they're sitting at the bar, and he's wearing skinny jeans, like tight jeans. And he walks in and he's strutting in, and they're like, what are you wearing? And he's like, they're skinny jeans. They make me feel hip. And the one guy goes, well, you're putting off a real Humpty Dumpty vibe. Which is so funny because it was true. It's so funny because it was true. Now, this day and age, people might really get up in arms about calling him Humpty Dumpty. And it's like, well, wait a minute.
Well, okay.
100%. He looks just like Humpty Dumpty.
It's also a comedy. Like, people are taking things too far. Like, it's comedy for a reason. It makes fun of things.
It's so funny. But that's exactly why we always say, that's why we always say, like, we got to be more funny. And then the best defense is always to laugh at yourself and not take things so personally or so serious, because that's just the best way to not be so upset about something that could be upsetting you because of something someone said. Like whether it's I'm taking something personal or Gina's taking something personal.
Well, like somebody said that I look like Carrot Top.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't really remember what Carrot Top looked like. I know he looked weird.
And then we looked him
then I
up.
looked it up and I went, I can see it.
I mean, it didn't make you feel like,
I feel like I look like Carrot Top. And I was like, I just had my eyebrows like microbladed and he has these like crazy eyebrows. And I was like, oh yeah, I see it.
yeah, okay.
See where they're coming from.
You have like high cheekbones, and like you're very like
Carrot Toppy.
well, no.
No,
It's more
I just
like
thought it was
Carrot
so
Top
funny.
through procedures has tried to look more like
Yes.
you.
No, right. Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
let's get it right.
Yeah. Let's
Right.
get it.
Right.
We all know who came first.
It's chicken
But
or
yeah.
the egg.
But dude, that had me laughing so hard. And I know it was
Freak.
probably just somebody that just thought, I'm just going to make her not come out of her room today.
Well, dude, I've read how many comments about people telling me how I'm looking sad and tired, or how I've had way too much plastic surgery, like after plastic surgery, as if my cheeks are fake, my lips are fake. Like, no, this is just my face.
Well,
It's like I've had so many comments of people that have like taken. What's funny too is they try to compliment sandwich you, and it's like they get it wrong every time. It's like,
but I think that some of them know they're doing it.
100% because
they know they're doing it.
Oh, for sure. Because the times, so many times have I like responded to somebody, who leaves a really mean comment, and then I respond and they go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you read this. And I'm like, whoa, okay, hang on. So you only mean it if I never read it. But if I read it, you're like, nah, I was a joke. It's no, my bad. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I blacked out. And I
don't stand behind it.
I don't believe what I said.
That wasn't me. No, I know. It's funny. I mean, and there's like, we've talked about trolls before and stuff, but it's so funny because, our friend Daniel, he has an Instagram account just devoted to food. Yeah. It's a fucking food account. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And it's just like the best places. And it's really awesome, especially like for people like in our area, because they're, exposed to all these places that they wouldn't know about to go have a really great burger or whatever. But he doesn't like his hands to get all greasy, and he's kind of going between like his camera and food and, all the whole thing. So he always wears gloves, and he's getting hate on his account. We were laughing so hard. He's like, I had like 4 people give me shit about wearing gloves in my videos. What's wrong with people like this? Like, this is upsetting for them. Right. To comment. And he goes, I wanted to come up with something and be like, I have this really rare disease that I can't get, certain oils on my skin and all this stuff. And I go, I don't think that goes with ingesting it also, but yeah, I mean, I get it. There's some holes in that theory.
Yeah. We live in a time where everyone just wants to be heard, and I think that we're just, when you're in a cycle of,
well, everyone's got an opinion.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, but also like when you're in a cycle of, and this is me too, you guys, it's not like I'm someone who just says shit and it's like, this is how everyone is. No, I know this. The way I can think through things is because I think about how I was when I was doing things or going through an experience. Like, where was my mind and what was I doing? Right. So like, I'm just self-reflecting. When you get in a cycle where you're upset all the time, it is very difficult to all of a sudden be the better version of you that doesn't take things personally. And because when you take things personally and you start to, even if you don't want to, you can't help yourself but think that everything is a direct jab at you.
Right.
Or it's directly talking. It's like, no.
Right. Well, and I think that anytime you're acting like emotionally,
yes,
your ability to critically think shuts down.
Well, and
because you're acting on emotion, not I need to think about this.
And I feel like because of how fast everything moves, right? How fast social media and everything, the day and age, everything moves so fast. People want instant gratification. We don't want to work for things. We just want to have things right now. And waiting is like horrible, right? Having to wait for something. That just adds to it, because now it's almost like you don't have time to critically think. So everything is so emotionally driven because you got to be the first person to say it. You got to respond. You got to comment. It's like there is no thought process about really what might be going on, or you're not taking time to maybe realize like, you know what? There's way more to this story than I have any idea. So by me feeling the need to have an emotional response to something that more than likely isn't even true, because I just feel a certain kind of way, to not take the time to really just like self-reflect and even recognize like I'm not really, by me saying it, I'm not making it better. I'm could only be making it worse. And I don't know what this person's been through. Like it's almost like there's such a lack of that, maybe because everything feels like it's so fast paced. It's like there is no time for you to think or wait or really,
I think with social media though, too, with social media too, though, don't you feel like there's so much access? There's so much access into like what you think another person thinks. And let's be honest, we've all grown up in a different bubble, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we only have our own experiences. So when somebody is looking at you or something you said and they're like, well, because their experience is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they jump on this bandwagon of like, you're a bad person because you've done this or you've said this and this means this, and like, reading into everything. And it's like, well, we didn't used to have so much access into thinking like, so-and-so from Australia weighing in on what I think on something. I mean, right. And that's the point, is that we all are going to have different experiences, and we're only reacting from those experiences. Does it mean that sometimes we could be seen as wrong to somebody else's experience? Yeah. Absolutely. Just like your experience is going to seem wrong to me. But it's like this idea now that everyone, like the outrage that comes with somebody thinking differently from you, rather than being like, why do you think that?
Well, yeah.
Like, why do you think that?
Don't want to have,
or saying that's not my experience.
Well, and we've been saying it since COVID, right? Like, people don't critically think anymore. In fact, if you
well, I think it's
almost like it. I mean, across the board, I would hope and feel pretty good about saying that most do. So what is sad is that I think what is portrayed or shared on a level that is, you could say, mainstream media or something that like more people will see the same thing. They don't care, right? Because like media is like, they just there's another reason why they're doing what they're doing. It's not, they don't care that it may not, there could be half truths, or they don't care that it could really rile up. They don't care about having people get along, because
no, it's meant to devise everybody.
So it's and that's why it's like more important than ever before, is like for more people, hopefully over time, to have experiences that maybe allow them to start practicing to be more self-aware in the moment, and to also like kind of step outside themselves, like in their situation, and like get back to a place where you can just think critically in a way that is hopefully with a goal in mind that's always just to be healthy, happy, and a positive, someone who you can help people, or you don't make people feel bad. If anything, you help them evolve their way of thinking. And that happens through constructive conversation. That doesn't happen through, sort of defensive conversation, right, or pointing fingers.
But I think it's also important to be clear, like when you're asking like for somebody to like evolve their way of thinking, that doesn't necessarily mean, and I know that's not what you're saying, is that doesn't mean that they automatically start thinking like you.
Oh no,
that
100%.
Just means it's that the reactionary part of it. And you may still not agree, and that doesn't mean that person is a critical thinker and you're not.
You don't. Or I am and you aren't. You don't have to agree. People don't have to agree. Not everyone's going to agree. We know this. Just like,
because everyone's experience is different.
Well, and people can always say, and if depending on, you could make this statement in regards to, I don't know, something that's really small. I don't know. Like I don't wipe front to back. I wipe back to front, or something stupid, right? Because I like UTIs.
Right.
You do not have to agree on everything. We're never always going to agree on everything, but hopefully one thing that people do agree on is the fact that it's better to be healthy than to be unhealthy. It's better to get along than to not get along. And That doesn't mean that only people that can get along are people that believe the same thing. No, it's just respect.
Right.
It's respect, and it's respect for differences. It's respect for like, you know what? I didn't grow up where you did. I didn't, respect of differences. And I think it's like, that's okay. And then I think what's even more important is more people being willing to give themselves grace when maybe they've said something or done something that wasn't the best way to act or wasn't the best thing to say. It can be very hard and uncomfortable to take responsibility for yourself because nobody wants to feel like they're the ones that caused harm, or they're the ones that caused pain, or they're the ones that, whatever it is. Like, that doesn't feel good. It feels really bad to feel like you could have been anything, like, let's say even like to your family, or like maybe as a parent to your kids, right? I don't know. Maybe you fed your kids expired milk and they all got sick. Something small. Something small. Meatloaf. Right?
Yeah,
like,
meatloaf.
You could feel really bad. And what could happen is you get on the defense because you don't want that to be your fault. You're a mother. You take care of your kids. You care about them. That's not your fault. Who didn't check who didn't buy new milk?
Right.
You were supposed to go to the store. You were supposed to get it. Right. It's like, it's so easy to do that.
Well, you're feeling vulnerable
because we don't want to feel bad.
We don't want to feel bad. We don't want to feel like, so there's just a lack of empathy going on.
It's very understandable. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's so understandable that someone could feel that way or respond that way. So understandable. That's why also I want people to know, like, it is okay to say, man, I messed up. Because that's the only way people can truly evolve as a person, their way of thinking, how they are as a parent, how they are as a sibling, how they are as a coworker, a boss, is you have to be willing to accept what has happened or what you've caused or what you said. But that doesn't mean that that's who you are. Like, that, it's okay if you did something that didn't work out for the best, but you thought that it would. Now, when it's not okay is if you can't take responsibility for it, learn from it, and then do it better the next time.
Right.
Like, as an employee, if I have a boss who can never take responsibility and it's always pointed back at someone else because you never want it to be your fault. So you're like, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's like, man, I would respect you as my boss so much more if you just said, because like, I can see it. I've been watching the whole time. I know what you did. You messed up.
Right.
But now it's like,
right. Pretending that you didn't mess up doesn't, you're not tricking anyone.
No, it just creates more problems. And, we always say, it's like, we wish that the government could just be like, you know what? We messed up, guys. We thought it was right and it wasn't, but we are going to get this turned around and solve the problem. But no one can take responsibility. Like, that's a big thing. It can politics.
Or even being able to say, like, we're so deep in the problem, we don't know how to get out.
Exactly.
Right.
Believe me, we are drowning.
I don't have the answers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I know.
It's like when here's I'll make this connection and then we'll just end this because it's been an hour and I have to go. I don't know where I'm going to go. To the gym, maybe. I do need to exercise.
I know, I'm going to the gym.
Is this, how funny is that you can make this correlation? People like that, like, we don't want it to be our fault. We don't want to take responsibility because then that almost makes you seem like, oh, I failed, right? Well, we all know that failing is a part of the process of learning and growing and getting better. But people don't want to fail. So if it had to be someone else's fault, right? Well, let's just go back to, like, I don't know, little kids, right? Me and my sister is teaching my nephew Jax how to ride his bike without training wheels. We're on the bike. Jax is on it. And it's too hard. I can't do it. Jax, yes, you can. It's too hard. I can't do it. Jax, I didn't know how to ride a bike. Nobody knew how. Everyone that knows how didn't know how. You don't just all of a sudden be good at something.
You don't just all of a sudden know something.
Right.
You don't. Like, I think it's such like a basic, almost just funny thought to, like, a realization or thing to remember, because I think more people need to remember it. Like, you are a baby, and then you learn to talk a little, and then walk and crawl and run and eat and speak and ride your bike. These are all things you didn't know how to do. The only way you learn how to do it is by learning and failing and getting better. And that's
you don't just like come to a point in your life, the whole, like your entire, whatever your lifespan is. And then just at some point, I know everything.
And you can't teach this dog new tricks, right? Because I know everything.
Right.
So it's a very, like, everybody can understand what I'm saying because we all know it. It's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that's universally known. Kids don't know anything. They learn, you teach them to go to the bathroom and the toilet. Well, they mess up a lot, right? Got to change the sheets.
They still shit their pants sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we should give up on trying to teach them how to go to the bathroom and the toilet?
Just let them shit their pants.
This one didn't know how. He didn't come with. Sorry, honey. I thought this one for sure would already know how to.
We figured it was too hard, so we just said it was okay.
Yeah,
we're like 40-year-old man shitting his pants.
Yeah. What we realized is, he didn't come with those talents.
We gave up.
Yes, it's I think that there's so many differences and people live different ways. I mean, how things are in the years that we've been alive are so unbelievably different compared to like when my great grandfather was alive and the problems they had. I mean, really it's like control what you can control, and you have to just let go of the stuff that you can't. And if everyone's a little more willing to realize that hopefully, and I think more people than I would even think, because we only know what we know. So when you're seeing things online, it's really easy to assume that like that's the majority. Or when you're seeing things online, it's really easy to assume that like everything's way worse than it actually is, right? Just take responsibility and be self-aware and stop pointing fingers, because man, it's like that saying of like, if everyone threw their problems into a pile, like you would grab yours back. Like everyone has problems.
Keep mine.
Yeah, someone take mine.
Actually, wait. I see one I like a little better.
Yeah.
I like your mistake better than my mistake.
It really is like I don't know. I can't solve any problems, but I do feel pretty good about that if people just became a little bit more human and
it's empathy.
And have more empathy and like stop looking for a winner and a loser. Like,
yeah.
Because everyone in their own lives are already dealing with themselves with winning and losing. I mean, the turmoil that we go through, we experience individually is very hard. I mean, man, and you have to experience that on your own. It's like, do you really need to make someone else's life harder by you judging them and then coming out like you're on top and they're the bad ones, you're the problem, I'm right, you're wrong? It's like, how would you feel if someone's doing that to you?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there is a time and a place. Like, I think that there are certain things that I have shared or I want to speak up about just in general. And most of it has to do with children and sex trafficking, because that's horrifying, right? It's terrifying. And it makes me super sad. And I have lots of nieces and nephews, and it's terrifying. It's scary. Right. And when I also think about, that time I could have been taken for that movie that wasn't real. Okay. Yeah. It's real. So that stuff that it's like, it's not about what you believe, what you don't believe. That's just safety of children. If we can't come together on that, that's weird. So that's the only thing that someone could probably disagree with me on. Other than that, I just care about protecting my neighbors, people next to me, in the community. The only way we do that is by realizing what's most important. And it's not all the bullshit of you trying to assume who someone is based on what you think. It's like, well, you don't know. Yeah. Like that's years ago, we always talked about how you deal with trolls, right? Brooke, how do you deal with the trolls? Well, I try to remind myself that these are people that actually don't really know me. So when they say all these really hurtful things, I try to remind myself that those aren't true, Brooke, because they might be saying them, but they don't know you. So I have to remind myself all the time, like, They don't know what they're talking about. Don't take it personal, Brooke, because they actually don't know you. It is really hurtful. They did say these things and it is really fucked up and it's really hurtful. But it's like, I have to be the bigger person. And that is for everybody, because
Well, and honestly, in your everyday life, those people aren't in your life.
Exactly.
They're not even in your life.
But if I'm too sucked into my social media, they're in my life every day.
Right.
You know, so I have really, over the last while, really tried to not be on my phone very much. And it's tough because you got to do it. And I like sharing, you know, cool stuff or the ranch stuff, or like, you know, staying connected with people that enjoy, know what I'm going on. But also it's like, you gotta, I think in this day and age and all the craziness too, I think it's more important to have some quiet time where you don't allow yourself to get too sucked into what's being said on your phone and online, because that, at least for me, from personal experience, you know, it can turn something on in you that will dictate how you feel and how you treat people the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If something emotionally charges you, if I read some hateful stuff that someone's written to me, which happens every day,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that, it like, not only if it's either if it's about something that I really feel passionate about, children, right? Well, now my blood pressure's high and I'm on edge, and I will go through my day with that, whether I know it or I don't. If it's something that was written that is someone has directly attacked me, well, then I go through my day a little subdued, super introverted, and I'm questioning. Now it's causing me to feel bad about myself or question myself. And it really takes time for me to have that realization where I go, Brooke, we all know that's not true. Yes, this person said these things to you, but you know it's not true. They don't know who you are.
Right.
You know, so really the best defense is to just spend less time, you know, reading things that someone could be, you know,
People
what do they
just
call
need-
it? Keyboard warriors. Or like
I just think people need to just spend a little more time dealing with the people that are like in their vicinity.
And maybe, I don't know, and maybe if
like people that are physically there. Let's just worry about the people that are
there.
Let's start with the people that are physically around you. It's crazy. Oh, but I gotta get going. Okay, sorry, go.
And the last thing, I had seen this video and I was going to share it on Instagram and I didn't, but it's a guy saying that there was a science report that came back, and it was a study that showed that in your mind, anxiety and gratefulness, like thankfulness, they are produced by the same area in your mind. Mm-hmm. I'm really butchering this, but saying that they cannot exist at the same time.
Oh, interesting.
Therefore, when you are anxious all the time, it is really powerful that if you can change the way, so to help change the way you're thinking is to start thinking about all the things you are grateful for, you are thankful for, right? And that is one sort of way you personally can combat that sort of roller coaster ride of emotion.
Yeah.
Some things can cause for you. You know, and I read that today.
Interesting.
And I thought that was a really cool thing that has been discovered. And I hope more people read that, because I know I'm not the only person that is anxious and, you know, deals with stress or these, you know, very overwhelming feelings. So it was a very positive thing that I read, that it was like, okay, that is something that everyone can do today. That's something that you don't need to go to a doctor. You don't got to go and like be, you know, you don't have to go to a visit. You don't got to go to an office. There's nothing you can do. It's like, if you are anxious, just knowing, like, that's a really powerful thing to know. It's very, it makes you feel like empowering. You can like do something about it, because the feelings of anxiety are so uncomfortable, right? They are really bad. They can be really intense. Now, to know that all you have to do, which in moments of anxiety, depending on what you're going through, it can be very difficult to even want to make those, like, to change or like start now thinking of things you're thankful for. Because sometimes when you're uncomfortable or angry or whatever it is, it almost feels good to be there, with the whole statement of like misery loves company.
Mhm.
Now you might be by yourself, but if you understand what I'm saying. But yes, if we just start giving, thinking about things we're grateful for, we're thankful for, I'll give you a few. I am super thankful for every time it comes around to winter time and I put on my snow pants. I always find chapstick and like a $5 bill. Man, the little things, that is the best, right? I'm really grateful.
The few times I golf, I find the same thing in my golf bag.
Yes.
I'm always like, what?
You're like, oh, look at me. Hey, who wants a drink? Drinks
I had a 20 in there for a year.
It's like, I'm super great. I'm grateful for when I have toilet paper in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to scurry through the house looking for toilet paper. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful that my parents worked really hard and went through all the bullshit and didn't get, stuck out some really tough times. Because now we are where we are, which is fantastic. I mean, there really are so many things to be grateful for. And I will tell you that when you're feeling real bad, man, even though it can be tough to remind yourself of all the good around you. So all we really can do is practice it. I mean, that's what I've started recognizing is like, I just need to practice it. If I practice more often, stopping, having a moment, whether it's in the morning or whatever, or just maybe when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, stopping, taking like 10 minutes to think like, okay,
there's lots to be grateful for.
Let's really look at your life. Let's look at all the good, because obviously we know that the bad always seems to outweigh the good, because if we're looking at like Instagram or social media, well, people that have a problem with you or have something negative to say, they always have the time to write that shit down. People that are happy, you're going about life and you don't spend time, being angry or commenting or sharing. And so sometimes the negative stuff seems like it's way more prominent than the positive, because that's what it seems like most people tend to share. Because when we're happy, we're busy. We're experiencing life with people around us. We're not sharing it, right?
Right.
We're not taking the time to be like, hey, look at how much fun I'm having.
Get outraged. Be outraged.
Yeah. So I think it's good. At least this is what I tell myself, and this might be a positive thing to share to anyone who's listening, to remind yourself that even though what is being perceived through TV and all the things, it can seem really awful, like extra bad. And there's bad shit happening. That's true. But the opposite, and there's a lot of good happening too. So we need to just remind ourselves of that, because we know that with TV, the stuff that's the most awe or scary or upsetting, that's what they go with, because that's what gives you that engagement, and people get up in arms, they want to argue, and it keeps us all divided. And then the good stuff and the good news is not as shared as much, because
we that doesn't watch that
doesn't get you the view. It doesn't get you the likes and the clicks and the reshares. So it then becomes our responsibility as the people to remember that there is more good than bad. But that doesn't mean that the bad's not there. But it does mean that you should feel a little bit more optimistic and maybe start changing the way you think or the way you respond to people in your environment, people that are around you, and even remind them that like, it's good. There's a lot of good going on. So if we can focus on that and we just want to share the good, then hopefully we got a chance.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right. Thanks for coming to the TED Talk.
Okay, I really have to go now.
Yeah, you're good.
I know. Love you guys. All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for listening today.
Don't forget to
remember to be thankful and grateful. Don't forget to
rate, review, subscribe.
5-star rating, 5-star warning, and give some thanks to yourself and maybe to your friends or your family, or I don't know, the person that puts that toilet seat down every day at your house, or maybe doesn't. And we'll see you and talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.